In high school, my best friend was this hot prostitute, and I just kind of got into the friend zone. She's all like, oh, there's all these guys having sex with me for money, and I'm all like, oh, you deserve better, and then I died.
Over the years, Family Guy has evolved into the king of dark and twisted humor. But even they, every now and then, can still push the boundaries. So today, we're gonna bring you 10 times they went too far. Number 10, The Ordinary Hero.
Griffin, can I talk to you privately? Stella, turn around. Griffin, I actually came to tell you that you're being promoted to forklift operator.
Really? That's awesome!
After years of hard work, well, let's just call it years of work, Peter finally achieved something that might be considered an upgrade. And let me tell you, his new job opened the doors to a completely different world for him.
Oh my God, I want to get on!
Hold on. Remember the first thing we said we'd do?
A few moments later.
Wow. So that's what the tops of cars look like. All right, walking speed. Afternoon, ma'am.
Afternoon to you, normal sir.
No one can tell.
Peter's surprising prowess with his new forklift seemed like an interesting and kind of funny twist in the storyline. Until, well, let's say the writers couldn't resist adding one of their signature jokes. The scene is as long and detailed as it is cringeworthy, but let's face it, it's kind of hilarious watching Peter attempt and utterly fail at being the town's hero. It's a rather uncomfortable gag that could have been avoided.
You're welcome. Oh, cool shell.
Number 9, Knowing What We Know Now.
Now return to The Cosby Show, knowing what we know now.
One of the things that makes Family Guy so freaking cool is its fearless approach to humor. While other shows are shying away from these controversial topics, this show charges right in, guns a-blazing, taking no prisoners. That's exactly how we ended up with this joke. Sure, it might come across as over the top and pushing the envelope, which is precisely why you're watching it right now. But at the same time, it's wonderful that they dare to make such humor about a delicate topic issue because, in a way, it's a means of shedding light on it and changing the idealized image we used to have of that show.
Huh. I was so busy not seeing color, I didn't see the raping either.
Number 8, Boston Marathon.
Holy crap, this is awesome! I haven't felt a rush like this since I won that marathon.
We love Family Guy for pushing the limit with its humor, and they do not hold back, even when it comes to sensitive and controversial subjects. That's how they managed to slip in a joke about Peter winning the Boston Marathon, which at first went relatively unnoticed despite its cruel and violent nature.
Peter, how did you do it?
I'll tell you, Bob, I just got in my car and drove it. And when there was a guy in my way, I killed him.
The real controversy erupted when, a few weeks after the Turban Cowboy episode aired, a real-life terrorist attack occurred during the Boston Marathon, resulting in several fatalities and numerous injuries. From that somber moment onwards, this gag became one of those jokes that even Family Guy's audacious standards couldn't defend. Number 7, Michael J. Fox's Parkinson's.
You only have 2 white shirts?
Well, I had a third one, but it got ruined at that wine tasting at Michael J. Fox's house.
If this show was willing to poke fun at world religions and countless minority groups, why not tackle illnesses while they're at it? And you know they're gonna take this step towards a celebrity with a serious medical condition. Oh, it's as dark as it sounds.
I'm just gonna tell you what happened. See, he has this disease, and it makes him shake a lot, and what with all the shaking, he spilled his wine all over my shirt, and my shirt was ruined.
No one can question the show's affection for the beloved Michael J. Fox. He's been on the show many times, often as the iconic Marty McFly, always leaving us in stitches. That's why this particular cutaway, taking a jab at Parkinson's disease, hits so close to home.
I really like the finish on this Shiraz. Son of a bitch, what is your problem?
Nevertheless, we're sure that Michael knows how much the writers admire him, and we hope that this gag, no matter how dark, managed to put a smile on his face. We're rooting for you, Marty.
And he sent me this check, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to cash this.
Number 6, the 4th Griffin child.
And you better be responsible tonight. I don't want a repeat of the last time I left you alone with one of our children.
When it comes to dark humor, Family Guy practically has a PhD, pushing that envelope, venturing into edgy comedy territory. However, even the masters of offbeat humor occasionally drop a joke that leave the audience wondering if it was really necessary. And that's exactly what went down in this particular cutaway.
It's just so horrible.
I'm sorry, Lois. I thought if I shook him enough, he'd stop crying.
Given that cutaways allow him to venture into that funny territory with no ties to the main plot, cracking a joke about death of a child might seem a bit out of place. But since this is Family Guy, they decided to double down and deliver an even darker punchline.
I was kind of right.
Number 5. Quagmires Sister.
Oh, God, I hope Glenn's okay. I'm so worried about him.
Shut up and limp! We're in a handicap spot, you slut!
Now this episode is undeniably one of the grittiest and most unsettling ones in the entire series. When Glenn finds himself teetering between life and death from autoerotic asphyxiation, his sister Brenda comes to look after him, accompanied by her rather volatile and abusive boyfriend.
Come on, Brenda! A stupid nursery rhyme isn't gonna wake him up, especially the way you sing. Right, man?
Throughout this whole thing, it's filled with dark humor and situations leaving us torn between laughter and concern. Even the craziest fanatics of this show would agree that this is rather intense and edgy.
I was pretty surprised you wanted me to come along. I thought you hated my guts.
Oh, come on, Jeff. I don't hate your guts.
Well, what the hell are we doing out here? I thought we were gonna kill him.
And while it does offer some release, it's essentially a case of countering violence with more violence. We get it. It's dark and twisted, but dang.
Tell them that Joe, Peter, and Quagmire were with you last night. If you tell anyone otherwise, I will come back and not only hit you, but I will murder you. And no one will care because you're garbage.
Number 4. Quagmire's Wild Ride of Perversions.
Personally, I'd recommend college Latinas. I mean, I want to see Latinas, but I also want them to
Speak
speak
English,
Yes, exactly.
Quagmire, the resident pervert of Quahog, proudly flaunting his insatiable sexual desires. But even for him, there's a line. And sometimes things can get a little too wild, even by his standards.
You roofied me?
Are you mad?
No. I'm in love.
When Glenn met Sonia, a redhead just as pervy as him, he thought he'd hit the jackpot. Now what he didn't know was that his new flame's kinks would push him way out of his comfort zone. And we're not talking about when she kidnapped him and turned him into her sex slave. No, something much worse.
Well, I can't even imagine what twisted, deviant act you've thought of this time.
I want you to have sex with your father.
What?
Yep, and I'm gonna watch.
Hi, Glenn.
All right, Family Guy, we get it. Quagmire isn't the kinkiest resident of Quahog. There's no need to take it to such extremes. Let's hope that Glenn can recover from this ordeal and get back to his usual perverted antics.
My dad told me he's pregnant.
Number 3. Jesus' Virginity.
Jesus, you shouldn't be alone during Christmas. And if I remember correctly, isn't your birthday sometime soon, too?
A show fearlessly taking jabs at religion from all corners of the globe, and naturally, Christianity doesn't get a pass. The very person of Jesus Christ has strolled through Quahog streets on more than one occasion, but in this instance, some writers had a quirky twist up their sleeves.
In high school, my best friend was this hot prostitute, and I just kind of got into the friend zone. She's all like, oh, there's all these guys having sex with me for money, and I'm all like, oh, you deserve better, and then I died.
When Jesus openly admits to his virginity, the gang takes it upon themselves to assist him in breaking that dry spell. Now you'd think finding a date for Jesus wouldn't be a tall order, but it turns out the Messiah had some rather controversial plans of his own.
I want my first time to be with Lois.
What? I am outraged! But probably not as outraged as the 10 million Christians watching.
But if you believe that's as controversial as it gets, hold on to your butts for the big reveal. It appears that Jesus' infallible strategy to woo the wives of other men involves feigning virginity and capitalizing on the charitable hearts of devout Christians. Not quite the divine image you had in mind for the Son of God, is it?
You're a liar, Jesus!
Bravo, Peter. Lois, seems like you folks learned the lesson I intended.
What lesson?
Oh, you know.
Number 2. Trading places.
Sometimes you just seem to take us for granted. You know, it's very difficult being a parent.
No, it's not. You get to do anything you want, and you get to make all the rules.
When Chris and Meg stole Peter's motorcycle and crashed it, it was the last straw. Their parents, fed up with their lack of appreciation for things, decided to pitch a little social experiment.
You kids switch places with your dad and me. For the next week, you'll be the parents and we'll be the kids.
Seriously?
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That sounds great!
So far, everything was fine. Even the experiment seemed fun and quite interesting, and we as viewers were ready to see the kind of mess the family would get into with these new roles. What we didn't expect was for Peter to take his student role so seriously.
Time to make all those popular kids pay for ignoring me.
Now, Peter, no, you're just a normal high school kid.
Now, this is undoubtedly one of the show's darkest and most twisted gags. Of course, one knows what they're getting into when watching Family Guy, but even by its standards, that joke fell a bit over the line.
Hey, Lance? Hey, it's off. It's off. It's off. It's off. Throw this phone away, Lois.
And number 1, the juice is in Quahog.
Who's the celebrity?
I'll give you a hint. Famous football player, had a bit part in Roots, couple of great scenes in the Towering Inferno.
Wait a minute.
We're sure when the writers crafted this episode, they must have pondered, who's the most outrageously famous figure we can drop on this show? And maybe, when one name came to mind, they thought,
And now we can do better. Come on, now. More over the top.
leading to the introduction of none other than...
He's the Juice, one of the greatest football players ever.
He brutally killed his ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend, Ron Goldman.
O.J. Simpson?
Yes.
Oh my. OJ's presence in the town of Quahog must have been without a doubt the most scandalous and jaw-dropping edition of the show. Watching him stroll through the town while Peter's defending him isn't your run-of-the-mill TV experience.
Oh my God!
Brian, what's the matter?
Oh, you're alive.
Yeah, we just had a little pasta spill.
Oh, thank God.
But as usual, the show decided to take it up a notch, giving us a surprising, shocking ending, leaving us questioning if the entire storyline might have been better left on the cutting room floor.
A few moments later.
Oh, I guess he did do it.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Please be sure to subscribe and like the video for more Family Guy content. If you're still in the mood, check out Family Guy 10 Times Brian Got What He Deserved, shown on your screen right now, because you know it's gonna be
Awesome!